it really is a blow for Bafana not to have him. But at the same time, you can think about the fact that maybe they were talking about the fact that it might not be the best thing for him to be in like complicated spaces and whatever. Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of The Corner Flag, and I'm your host Deshane, and in today's episode we will be reviewing today's match of Tottenham versus Burnley in the FA Cup, and it was a really tough match. Really great shown from Burnley's side. It was really tough. I think in the 73rd minute or so, that's when the goal came about, but other than that, it was a really tough match. Of course, Tottenham did have a few absentees in the form of Son, who went over to the Asia Cup, and Bissouma also went over to Mali for the Afcon competition that is currently underway. Then there were other players, of course, that were absent in that matchup as well. And we are looking at Burnley also, who had a full strength side, of course. But there is some news of Nestor Zururi, who played today, as well as Benson, who might be leaving the club. So we'll just be taking a look and keeping tabs on that situation. But apart from that, really great game from the boys. Amdouni, could have really scored 2 chances actually and really put the game to bed. In fact, even the goal that came about, I think it was a situation of Muric who just threw the ball to him, and in that situation also Amdouni didn't really get the best control of the ball, got nicked off of him, and Pedro of course just went forward, and yeah, that was a hell of a shot. Muric definitely wasn't stopping that into the back of the net, of course, and Tottenham progressed in the FA Cup. And yeah, really good match from the boys. Hopefully now they can, focus on the league with the performance that they just put out against Tottenham, and they should be fine. Lyle Foster, who is also the subject of our topic today, didn't really play too well in today's match. I mean, he started off okay. Classic Lyle that we know, great decision making, held over the ball and just spread the ball to his teammates just to alleviate pressure, just get the momentum going. But apart from that, it just didn't seem to click further on into the match. Decision making and his touches weren't really too good. So Vincent Kompany, of course, just made the decision, of course, to pull him off at half time. And this also brings us to the next subject of our video of today, of course, talking about the fact that Lyle is, of course, missing from the Bafana squad. And yeah, it really is a tragic situation, especially for Bafana in this situation, because, of course, he is definitely a needed, aspect in the Bafana squad. If you're looking at the strike force specifically as well, especially if you consider the fact that Lebo Motiba is also missing from the game. So if you take that into consideration, Bafana are in a precarious situation because obviously the squad isn't as good as it could be. So we're just going to go ahead and take a look at the Bafana squad, right? Just going to go into the internet. We're just going to check who exactly Bruce decided to pick for Afcon, So yeah, I think it is I'm not going to say toothless exactly, but it really is a Bafana side that is missing a lot of there's key players that we need, especially in the strike force. Lyle is, of course, our best striker at this current point in time. Very versatile, can fit into the system in many ways. He's really fast, so if you are trying to play in those balls behind the defenders for him to run on, he can definitely do that. He's fast enough to do that. But if you also want him to play as a target man, hold the ball up and just spread around the ball to his teammates, he's also very good at doing that as well. So it really is a blow for Bafana not to have him. But at the same time, you can think about the fact that maybe they were talking about the fact that it might not be the best thing for him to be in like complicated spaces and whatever. So they're trying to protect his environment, which is something that is very, very important. So I think we should definitely take that into account. But yeah, the fact that he is playing for Burnley definitely does seem to be rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, so I think it is understandable, especially considering the fact that he is a very, very key and very, very important part of the Bafana team. So it is, really, really unlucky that we won't be able to have him there. But in the same breath, though, I definitely do think that there are some players who could have made it. There's certain people like Patrick Leke, for example, who's also been on a good scoring streak, has been scoring many, many games for his team Pyramids. So it really is a wonder why he hasn't been, given the opportunity to, prove himself, basically. Also talked about Kabomelo Kodisang. He did get called up previously, but also didn't really get a proper opportunity to, show his abilities and give an account. I think Bruce definitely just called him up based on pressure from everybody because we all wanted him there, So I think that's probably the reason why he decided to add him, and not necessarily why he wanted to give him a chance, because even there he played like the first half in a team that didn't really play together, that never played together before, and ever since then he's never gotten an opportunity to prove his game. So it is really unfortunate. So back to our point, I'm just going to go ahead and read our Bafana squad that Bruce has chosen, and we're just going to take a look at the key points here. Okay, so we're back, and we're just going to go ahead and read the whole squad, basically, even though our main focus, of course, is the strike force for the video, right? So the goalkeepers, our dear old Bruce, went with Ronan Williams, Velu Motwa, Ricardo Gus. Basically, that was to be expected. Defenders, the ever-present Sydney Mobi. Grant Kekane, Nkosinati Siwisi, Obri Modiba, Mutobi Mfala, Sianda Tulu, Terence Masheko, and Kulisomo Dabo. Okay, that's pretty good. Midfielders, you went to Tabo Mukwena, Jaden Adams, Spepelo Mukwena. Oh, it's using Spepelo Sitole, Tapelo Morena, Tapelo Maseko, and Tabang Monar. Okay, so there are a few surprise inclusions there, including Tabang Monare, of course, Jaden Adams also, strikers, of course, you got Mihlale Mahembela, Themba Zwane, Evidence Makhoba, Presi Tau, Zakele Lepasa, and Aswin Apalis. Okay, so yeah, there's a few exclusions here that we can think about. Of course, Gonga being one of them. We did also speak about Motiba due to injury, and our Burnley forward, of course, Lyle Foster. I don't know how he's going to attack this. Of course, it's going to, if he likes to play the 4-3-3 formation, it's probably going to be Mihlale, Presi, and yeah, it's either going to be at this point probably Lepasa. Evidence Mahop at this point. Yeah, we'll see. But for me, he hasn't done enough. Yeah, all fingers crossed. I think as South Africans, let's be patient with Lyle. I think it's great that he's getting back to his best, but let's be patient with him. And while he's developing abroad, he's definitely going to be a better player for us. So, yeah. That brings us to the end of our video. Thank you so much for coming. Until our next one, I will see you again next time.